Donald Trump's desperate attempts to dodge his Jeffrey Epstein scandal have collapsed spectacularly, exposing a presidency defined by corruption, confusion, and cowardice. As new bombshells emerge, the MAGA facade is crumbling, with even Trump's former ally, Elon Musk, tossing shade at the embattled ex-president. From damning Oversight Committee revelations to a public turning against him, Trump's web of lies is unraveling, and his legacy is sinking faster than his poll numbers. Let's cut to the chase. Donald Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein are not just a scandal. They're a stain on his presidency that no amount of bluster or bronzer can cover up. This isn't some fleeting tabloid gossip. It's a festering wound that's bleeding out in public. The American people are done with the excuses, the deflections, and the pathetic attempts to rewrite history. Trump's connection to Epstein, a predator whose crimes shocked the conscience, is a story of power protecting power, and it's dragging Trump's already tattered reputation into the gutter. The latest bombshell comes from the Oversight Committee, where Democrats, led by the fierce Repness Robert Garcia, are forcing the release of Epstein's files, including the infamous birthday book Trump has repeatedly claimed doesn't exist. Spoiler alert, it exists, and it's about to land in the committee's hands. This isn't just a gotcha moment. It's a seismic event that could expose not only Trump's lies, but the broader network of Epstein's associates, people the Trump administration seems hell-bent on shielding. Why the cover-up? What's Trump so afraid of? The answer is as clear as his spray-tan lines: guilt, complicity, and a desperate need to cling to power. Representative Jasmine Crockett laid it bare, calling out any lawmaker who refuses to support a full Epstein investigation as unfit for office. She's right. Swearing an oath to the Constitution means protecting Americans, not coddling predators and their powerful friends. Crockett's words cut deep. So long as you have enough money and/or power, then you will be protected, and not the most vulnerable amongst us. That's the Trump playbook in a nutshell. Protect the elite, screw the victims. And the victims here? Children abused in the 90s, their cries ignored, while Epstein, and apparently Trump, waltzed free. Even as late as 2008, when Epstein was supposed to be locked up, he was still preying on women. Where was Trump? Probably at Mar-a-Lago, schmoozing with his pal Jeff. The Oversight Committee's push for transparency is a dagger to the heart of Trump's narrative. Garcia's team is set to receive the birthday book and other documents from the Epstein estate, and they're not playing games. They plan to make it all public. This is a direct challenge to Trump's lie that no such book exists, a lie so flimsy it's practically begging to be debunked. The White House's stonewalling, led by Trump's lackeys at the DOJ, only fuels suspicion. Why block the release of two Epstein associates' names who received $100,000 and $250,000? These aren't victims being protected. These are powerful players being shielded. Trump's not just hiding his own tracks. He's guarding an entire network of Epstein's cronies. It's corruption so blatant, it's practically a neon sign flashing, "Guilty." Here's where it gets juicy. Even Trump's own MAGA cheerleaders are starting to jump ship. Enter Elon Musk, the billionaire bromance partner who once fawned over Trump, but now seems to be tossing him under the bus. Musk's recent X post, a cryptic, "You'll thank me later," set the internet ablaze, especially when paired with a reply featuring a Donald Trump Jr. tweet demanding the Epstein client list be released. "If you know, you know," the reply taunted, and oh, we know. Musk's not just stirring the pot, he's dumping it over Trump's head. This isn't Musk's first jab at Trump lately. Just days ago, he schooled Trump's energy department for their laughably ignorant attack on renewable energy, reminding them that batteries, yes, batteries, exist to store solar and wind power. It was a polite but pointed clapback, exposing the administration's incompetence on a global stage. Musk's pivot from Trump fanboy to subtle critic is a sign of the times, when even the MAGA megaphone holders like Musk, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massie start questioning Trump's Epstein ties. You know the walls are closing in. These are the loudest voices in the GOP, and they're not singing Trump's praises anymore. They're whispering about his scandals. The MAGA crowd's hypocrisy is almost as nauseating as Trump's lies. For years, they weaponized Epstein's crimes as a political cudgel, spinning wild conspiracy theories to smear Democrats while conveniently ignoring their own leader's cozy relationship with the disgraced financier. Now, faced with the reality of Trump's involvement, they're scrambling to change the subject. Sorry, folks, you don't get to play the victim card when your guy's the one dodging accountability. The Epstein saga isn't a political pawn anymore. It's a millstone around Trump's neck, and it's dragging him down. If the Epstein scandal weren't enough, Trump's presidency is imploding under the weight of its own incompetence. Polls are painting a picture of a leader who's not just underwater, but drowning. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton, laid it out. Trump's net approval rating has been negative for 181 days straight, a streak that started on March 12th and shows no signs of stopping. This isn't a blip, it's a collapse. On every major issue, trade, the economy, foreign policy, crime, immigration, Trump's numbers are in the red. Even on crime and immigration, his supposed strong suits, he's now underwater, with -2 and -3 points, respectively. The guy who campaigned on fixing the economy, -4 points. Trade, a brutal -17. It's a bloodbath. The demographics tell an even uglier story. Trump's support among young voters and Hispanics, key groups that helped him squeak out a second term, has cratered. In February, he was +2 points with voters under 30. Now he's at -30, a 32-point nosedive. Hispanics? From -6 to -34, a 28-point drop. These aren't just numbers. They're a referendum on a presidency that's lost its grip on reality. Trump's base is eroding, and with the Epstein scandal breaking wide open, it's no wonder why. The American people see through the lies, the corruption, and the pathetic attempts to spin this as anything but what it is, a betrayal of trust. In a desperate bid to salvage Trump's image, House Speaker Mike Johnson tried to float one of the most absurd lies yet, that Trump was some kind of noble informant helping the feds take down Epstein. Yes, you read that right. Trump, the guy who partied with Epstein for years, was supposedly wearing a wire for the FBI. It's the kind of claim that makes you wonder if Johnson's been dipping into the MAGA Kool-Aid. He backpedaled faster than Trump running from a debate, claiming he was just repeating common knowledge. Newsflash, Mike. The only common knowledge here is that Trump's been dodging accountability for decades. Johnson's flailing defense is emblematic of a broader problem, the GOP's inability to confront the truth about their leader. They've spent years rallying around Trump, excusing his every misstep, but the Epstein scandal is a bridge too far. Even Johnson had to admit the victim's testimony was gut-wrenching, but his attempt to paint Trump as disgusted by Epstein's crimes is laughable. If Trump's so disgusted, why's his DOJ fighting tooth and nail to keep Epstein's associates' names under wraps? Why's he denying the existence of a birthday book that's about to see the light of day? The answer is simple. Trump's not disgusted. He's terrified. Let's not lose sight of what's at stake here. The Epstein scandal isn't just about Trump's corruption, it's about the victims, many of whom were children when they were abused. Their stories, like that of Miss Farmer and her sister, are a searing indictment of a system that failed them. They reported their abuse in the 90s, and nothing happened. Epstein continued his crimes, enabled by a network of powerful men who looked the other way. Trump wasn't just a bystander. He was part of that world, rubbing elbows with Epstein while victims suffered in silence. The Oversight Committee's push for transparency is a step toward justice, but it's not enough. Every Republican who heard the victim's testimony and still refuses to act should be ashamed. As Crockett said, they deserve to lose their seats. This isn't about party loyalty. It's about basic human decency. The fact that Trump's administration is actively working to suppress the truth, blocking the release of names, delaying document dumps, shows where their priorities lie. It's not with the victims. It's with protecting the powerful. Trump's handling of the Epstein scandal is just the latest chapter in a presidency defined by dysfunction. From his incoherent energy policies, batteries anyone, to his tanking poll numbers, Trump is a leader who's lost his way, if he ever had one. His administration's attacks on renewable energy, led by an energy department that seems allergic to facts, are a perfect metaphor for his leadership. Loud, wrong, and embarrassing. When even Elon Musk has to step in to correct the record, you know things are bad. The polling data is a death knell for Trump's legacy. He's not just unpopular, he's radioactive. The economy, his supposed trump card, is a disaster under his watch. Jobs numbers are historically bad, and voters are noticing. His promises to fix crime and immigration? Empty. His foreign policy? A mess. Trade? Don't even get me started on the tariffs. Trump's presidency is a house of cards, and the Epstein scandal is the gust of wind about to bring it all down.